To be smitten, to be beaten, to be struck, as with a hard blow, to be grievously or disastrously stricken or afflicted, to be very much in love, from the action of a smith shaping raw steel into a usable form, to literature, relating and contextualizing elements of the human struggle. Words evolve as we do, as literature does. Author interviews, live readings of poetry and prose, and all else from the literary world of Vancouver and abroad. Tune in to CJSF 90.1 Wednesday afternoons at 1 o'clock Pacific to be smitten by the written.
You are listening to CJSF 90.1 FM and CJSF.ca because you are better than most people. Thank you.
You're listening to CJSF 90.1 FM, online at www.cjsf.ca. We're broadcasting from Burnaby, British Columbia at Simon Fraser University, and this is KP Week with This Week in BC Minor League Sports. Now, during this half-hour show today, we'll recap Week 18 of the BC Major Midget League, which is a league for 15 to 17-year-olds playing competitive hockey in the province of British Columbia. I also have some news regarding SFU Athletics. So this is a program for all of you sports fans out there interested in local sports. Now, we don't do any major league sports because this is a community radio station, and also because there's plenty of minor league sports or junior sports locally for you to check out. For example, minor hockey, especially if you are here in the Lower Mainland. So what I'm going to be focusing here on this show, because it's hockey season, is the BC Major Midget League. With only 6 games remaining for 4 of the teams in the league before the playoffs begin. The other 7 teams have 8 games left, so it's crunch time with everyone battling for playoff positioning and home ice advantage. And 8 teams out of the 11-team league make the playoffs, so there's quite a few intriguing races developing down the stretch. I'm going to recap last weekend's BC Major Midget League action right here on CJSF Radio. And just some background information about the BC Major Midget League. It was established in 2004 to provide elite level 15, 16, and 17-year-old players an opportunity to play within their own age group at a high level. This league also helps to develop these young hockey players as they prepare for junior hockey leagues and beyond. And with the BC Major Midget League, there are games being held every weekend, either in the Lower Mainland, in Burnaby, Langley, Richmond, or Coquitlam, or out of town in cities such as Prince George, Nanaimo, Victoria, Castlegar, Chase, and Kelowna. Now, all of the games are free to attend, so it's good to check out this league if you're interested in some minor hockey action. And oftentimes you don't hear much, if anything, about these leagues. So it's it's nice to be able to talk about them. Talk about the BC Major Midget League on our sports show here on CJSF 90.1 FM. Now, NHL players such as Evander Kane, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, and Brandon Gallagher played in this league during their teens. In fact, in 2010, there were 16 former BC Major Midget League players who were drafted by NHL teams, including Gallagher, and there were 10 former players from the BC Major Midget League drafted in 2013 by NHL teams. So you could be watching future National Hockey League stars if you come out and taking some of these games in the BC Major Midget League. Now, you're basically seeing these future stars playing hockey when they're 15, 16, and 17 years old as they try and move on to junior level and beyond. So, it's, again, a great opportunity to watch them here at your local rink. I'm going to take a short break now for some public service announcements, and then we'll be back for some scores and updates from the BC Major Midget League right here on CJSF 90.1 FM.
Cold outside. Still craving fresh food? Crave no more. The popular farmers market is open all winter long. Check out over 60 vendors. Taste hot food and hotter drinks. Open every Saturday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Rain, shine, or snow. in the parking lot of Nat Bailey Stadium at Ontario Street and 30th Avenue. Admission is free.
CJSF sponsors. Magnetize Productions proudly presents Midnight Runner CD release with guests Chelsea's Tale and Saving Silas on Saturday, February 8th at the Red Room Ultra Bar, 398 Richard Street, Vancouver. Advance tickets are $10 or $12 at the door. Doors open at 8 p.m. For more information, visit redroomonrichers.com.
Philosopher's Cafe. It is back for 2014. Look for new discussions and interesting topics for this new year. Taking a different view of an old subject. Debate with new friends and old ones. Come out and learn something new. For all details of topics, locations, times and dates, go to the website philosopherscafe.net.
The Nikkei National Museum and Cultural Center helps to preserve and promote Japanese Canadian arts, history, and culture through programs and exhibits that connect generations and inspire diverse audiences. It is located at 6688 South Oaks Crescent in Burnaby at Kingsway and Sperling Avenue. And they're having their 8th annual flea market on Saturday, February the 15th, so next weekend. Thousands of second-hand items are available, all for amazing bargain prices. The date again is Saturday the 15th of February from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and admission is free. For more information, you can contact the Nikkei Center at 604-777-7000. That's 604-777-7000. Or you can email them at info@nikkeiplace.org. That's info@nikkeiplace.org. That's NIKKEI place.org. And their website is nikkeiplace.org. Back to this week in BC Minor League Sports here on CJSF 90.1 FM. I'd like to say congratulations to Jacques Chapdelaine for returning to SFU. Now, last week, the SFU Football Club hired former BC Lions offensive coordinator Jacques Chapdelaine to be their head coach. Chapdelaine replaces Dave Johnson, who was let go at the end of last season when the SFU clan finished the year with a 3-7 record. Now, Chapdelaine was officially introduced in a press conference earlier this week on Tuesday morning in the West Gym at SFU. Now, Chapdelaine, a native of Sherbrooke, Quebec, attended SFU and played for the clan in the 1980s and enjoyed a 6-year playing career in the CFL before moving on to coaching in the 1990s. He was a head coach for Laval University from 1997 to 2000, and in 1999 he led Laval University to the first Vanier Cup championship in school history. Chapdelaine was also part of the coaching staff on 3 Grey Cup championship teams with the Calgary Stampeders in 2001, and with the BC Lions in 2006 and 2011. He left the Lions last November. Now taking a look at SFU basketball, the SFU women's team will be hosting their annual Pink Game, which is their annual cancer fundraiser game, in their final home game of the season when they face the St. Martin University Saints on February the 15th at 7 p.m. in the SFU West Gym. Now, the proceeds from the Pink Game will be given to the BC Children's Hospital Foundation so that 100% of donations will improve the quality of life of kids with cancer. And during that game, during that evening on February the 15th, there will be entertainment, games, raffles, and a silent auction of SFU team members' warm-up t-shirts. If you'd like more information, you can go to athletics.sfu.ca and get more information. Again, that's athletics.sfu.ca. Now, meanwhile, for the men's basketball team, they'll be hosting the Western Washington Vikings tonight at 7 p.m. at the West Gym. Last Saturday, the men's basketball team defeated the Alaska Fairbanks Nanooks by a score of 70-60 at the West Gym to snap a 2-game losing streak. If you're interested in SFU athletics, be sure to check out a show by Steve Chong here on CJSF 90.1 FM every Saturday morning at 11 a.m., where he hosts a jambalaya program with music and also does commentary on the various SFU sports teams and how they're comments on how they're doing. So be sure to check that out every Saturday at 11 a.m. right here on CJSF Radio. Now, as far as the BC Major Midget League scoreboard is concerned, 10 of the 11 teams were in action last weekend, with only the North Island Silvertips idle. Now, with the game action, let's start off first at the Planet Ice rink in Coquitlam, where the Vancouver Northeast Chiefs played host to the Vancouver North West Giants on Saturday, February the 1st. Going in, the Giants were 2 points out of first place in the BC Major Midget League, with a record of 24 wins, 5 losses, and 1 tie. The Vancouver Northeast Chiefs were in 4th place with a record of 17 wins, 11 losses, and 4 ties, and coming off a big sweep over the Greater Vancouver Canadians the previous weekend. Now, with all that momentum going for them, the Chiefs struck for 5 goals on Saturday against the Giants, building a 5-1 lead after only 20 minutes. Matthew Hermery of the Chiefs had 2 of those goals and assists in that opening period, giving the 6'1", 190-pound forward from Coquitlam 12 goals and 26 points in 35 games on the season. Now, going back to the previous Sunday, the Giants had been outscored by Valley West 6-1 over the final 2 periods. So really, in the last 60 minutes of action, including the first period on Saturday against the Chiefs, the Giants had been outscored by a total count of 11-2. But remarkably, that was all the offense that the Vancouver Northeast Chiefs could muster on Saturday afternoon after jumping out to that 5-1 lead, because the Giants scored twice in the second period to cut the deficit to 5-3, and then scored 5 big goals in the final 20 minutes. The captain Clint Thornton scored his second goal of the game for the Giants with 7:50 remaining in the game to give the Giants a 6-5 lead, and they went on to pull off an 8-5 come from behind victory. Now, for the 5'10", 175-pound Thompson from West Vancouver, 2 goals on the afternoon on Saturday, giving him 18 goals and 40 points in 27 games this season. Tech Anholt, a 6'155" forward from North Vancouver, also had 2 goals for the Giants. Then on Sunday, the same 2 teams headed to the Burnaby Winter Club for a rematch, and the Giants didn't let up. Dante Fabro, the league's leading scorer amongst defensemen, and Colton Kerfoot, the league's leading scorer, both tallied for the Giants in the first period before the Giants struck with 3 more goals in the second period to go ahead 5-1 and essentially put the game away. Quinn Bangerfield, Justin Zito, and Owen Stout added third period goals for the Giants, and they went on to beat the Chiefs by a score of 8-1. Jeffrey Wong, a 6'1", 175-pound forward from Port Coquitlam, had the lone goal for the Chiefs on Sunday, his 8th of the season. Now, for the Vancouver North West Giants, the 2 victories gave them a record of 26 wins, 5 losses, and 1 tie in 32 games this season, good for 53 points. The Vancouver Northeast Chiefs fell to 17, 13, and 4, good for 38 points in 34 games. I caught up with Giants head coach Clint Thornton after the game on Sunday. And we're with Clint Thornton, the head coach of the Vancouver North West Giants. So big weekend for you guys, sweep over the Chiefs. So thoughts on your guys' play?
I think yesterday we started out slow and it showed. I mean, Chiefs came out prepared to play a hockey game and we weren't. We managed to come back and get the win. Today was a different story. I think our guys were much better prepared and ready to play right from the drop of the puck, and it showed in the outcome of the game.
Now you guys are just a couple points behind the Okanagan Rockets, and you guys play them next weekend. So thoughts about that?
It's going to be a good week of practices. We're going to be preparing hard for them. I know Rockets are always prepared to play against us, and hopefully our guys are ready to answer back.
How important would it be for you guys to finish in first place for the season?
Well, I think it's huge. I mean, to have home ice advantage through the playoffs, right start to finish, is a big advantage to any team, especially if you end up having to go up to the Okanagan and play them in the CN Center there. It's a tough place to play.
All right, so thanks, Coach, and good luck next weekend here against the Okanagan Rockets.
Thank you.
As you heard in the clip there, the Giants will take on the league-leading Okanagan Rockets for a first-place showdown this weekend at the Burnaby Winter Club. The Rockets going to last weekend had a record of 25 wins, 4 losses, and 1 tie in 30 games, and sat atop the BC Major Midget League standings. They took on the 8th place South Island Royals last weekend, with both games happening at the Capital News Center in Kelowna. The Royals going in were 10-18-4 and had a slim 1-point lead over the Fraser Valley Thunderbirds for the 8th and final playoff spot. For the Okanagan Rockets, it was their first home game at the Capital News Center since December 21st, a span of 42 days. Now, it was a daunting task for the South Island Royals, as they had a record of 1-8-5 all-time at the Capital News Center, and Okanagan was undefeated at home all season long. In the Saturday game, the Rockets came out firing at South Island goalie Chris Smith, blasting 21 shots at the Royals' net in the first period. But Smith kept the puck out of the net in the opening 20 minutes, and Hayden Hopkins scored his 13th goal of the season early in the second for the Royals. Now, with time winding down in the second period, the Royals were clinging to that 1-0 lead, but Tanner Brown scored the tying goal off a goal-mouth scramble with just 26 seconds remaining, and it was 1-1 through 40 minutes. Now, the Rockets simply took over, though, in the final 20 minutes, scoring 4 goals to put the game away. Tanner Campbell and Corey Santoro each scored twice in the final period, and the Rockets went on to record a 5-1 victory. For the 5'7", 145-pound Campbell from Kelowna, his 2 goals gave him 26 on the season in 31 games, along with 50 points. Meanwhile, the 6'1", 175-pound Santoro now has 16 goals and 36 points in 31 games. In goal, Brandon Berry stopped 25 shots for the Rockets and improved his record to 11 wins and 1 loss on the season. Okanagan fired 52 shots at Chris Smith, the South Island goalie, and he stopped 47 of them. Final score: Okanagan 5, South Island 1, and the victory improved the Rockets' home record to 15-0-0 this season. Then on Sunday, the Rockets again came out on top, beating the Royals by a score of 6-3. Tanner Campbell again came up huge for Okanagan, scoring his 27th goal of the season and adding 2 assists, giving him 53 points on the season. Tyson Joss also had his 25th goal of the year for the Rockets. In goal, it was Reed Kilburn making 25 saves to improve his record to 16 wins, 3 losses, and 1 tie for the Rockets. Chris Smith again started for South Island on Sunday, and he made 45 saves in the loss. Now, the weekend sweep by the Rockets allowed them to stay 2 points ahead of the Vancouver North West Giants for top spot in the BC Major Midget League standings, as Okanagan is now 27-4-1 after 32 games, good for 55 points. The Rockets also set a single-season club record with their 16th win at home on the year. Now, as mentioned earlier, the Giants and the Rockets will face off at the Burnaby Winter Club for 2 games this weekend, and back in November, the Rockets beat the Giants twice at the Capital News Center in Kelowna. Now, let's take a short break for a public service announcement, and then we'll be back for more scores and updates from the BC Major Midget League right here on CJSF 90.1 FM.
Many of us know what our anti-oppressive values are, but we sometimes struggle with how to respond when we witness oppressive interactions taking place. Join us for a workshop that will focus on building our skills for effective interventions. We will explore some of the psychological phenomena that impact witnesses. We will then spend the bulk of the workshop trying out strategies for intervening using roleplay and theater techniques. Bring your stories, questions, and strategies, and together we will build our skills. Countering inaction. Strategies for practicing anti-oppression. Everyone is welcome. Mount Pleasant Neighborhood House, 800 East Broadway in Vancouver on Saturday, February 22nd from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. For more information or to register, visit sfpirg.wfuu.eu/forms/registration-for-countering-inaction-workshop.
On Saturday, March the 8th, 2014, young women in business Simon Fraser University, also known as YWIB SFU, will be hosting a conference for the SFU community and the high school and post-secondary students of Greater Vancouver at Century Plaza Hotel in celebration of International Women's Day. Featuring inspirational guest speakers, a well-rounded panel, and an engaging expo, the conference is dedicated to encourage professional and personal growth. With a theme this year as defining success, their goal is to engage the community in the discussion of various definitions of success, empowering each other to pursue their true passions. Now, I should mention that this is for females and males, as YWIB is welcoming males to attend as well. Now, here are some more details about the event. Again, this is happening on March the 8th, and that's a Saturday. The location is Century Plaza Hotel at 1015 Burrard Street. That's 1015 Burrard Street in Vancouver. This will be from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. And now the ticket prices are as follows. It's $25 for the early bird price for YWIB members, and that is, the early bird dates I should mention are from February the 2nd to February the 9th. Again, that's for YWIB members only, and that includes all YWIB chapters as well. Again, the early bird price is $25. Now, for high school students, the price is also $25, and that is if you get your ticket between February the 9th to March the 2nd. The ticket price for SFU students who are non-YWIB members is $35, and those go on sale from February the 9th to March the 2nd. The general admission ticket price is $40, and that would be for students from other post-secondary institutions and for professionals. Those tickets also go on sale from February the 9th to March the 2nd. For more information, go to www.ywib.ca/SFU. That would be www.ywib.ca/SFU. And on their website, you also get the latest updates regarding guest speakers, exhibitors, and other exciting new perks that they'll be prepared to present. You can also follow them on Twitter at YWIBSFU. That's YWIBSFU. Now back to This Week in BC Minor League Sports, right here on CJSF 90.1 FM. We have more scores from last weekend in the BC Major Midget League. Now, the Fraser Valley Thunderbirds were looking to get into the 8th and final playoff spot last weekend as they took on the third-place Valley West Hawks. On Saturday, February the 1st, the Hawks beat the Thunderbirds 8-3 before the Thunderbirds earned a 3-3 tie with the Hawks on Sunday. With a single point, Fraser Valley moves into an 8th-place tie with South Island, but the Thunderbirds do have 2 games in hand. The Thunderbirds actually had a 3-1 lead in the Sunday game after 2 periods, but gave up 2 power play goals in the final 7 minutes to allow Valley West to skate away with a point in the 3-3 tie. Now, the Thunderbirds are now 10-18-4 with 24 points and will take on the last place Kootenay Ice this weekend. I spoke with head coach Bill Grieve of the Thunderbirds following Sunday's game. We're with Bill Grieve, the head coach of the Fraser Valley Thunderbirds. Big point today against the Hawks, so tell us about that.
Yes, we were. That is a big point for us. We were real disappointed that we got a late penalty at the end of that game, a 4-minute penalty. They scored twice on it when we only had 6 minutes left in the game, up 3-1. It's a little bit of a disappointing. We played hard till that point, and one mistake cost us a couple of goals.
And now you're in 8th place, tied with the Royals, who lost on Sunday. And now you have a couple of games against the Kootenay Ice. Thoughts on the next weekend?
Well, yeah, these next games are going to be very important to determine who's going to make the playoffs here. It's a really tight race. I think 8, 7, and 6 and 5 are within 3 points of each other. So it's going to be a tight race down the battle, and hopefully we come out ahead.
All right. Again, thanks so much for your time, Coach, and good luck next weekend.
Thank you.
Elsewhere in the BC Major Midget League last weekend, the Thompson Blazers and the Greater Vancouver Canadians split a pair of games at the Richmond Oval. The Canadians won 5-0 on Saturday before the Blazers squeaked out a 2-1 win on Sunday morning. Thompson got the game-winning goal with only 4:05 remaining in that contest. And finally, in Nelson last weekend, it was the Kootenay Ice splitting their series against the Caribou Cougars. Kootenay won 4-1 on Saturday, and Caribou came back to win 4-2 on Sunday. Now, for this weekend's schedule, as mentioned, there is a big series between the first place Okanagan Rockets and the second place Vancouver North West Giants at the Burnaby Winter Club. Saturday's game is at 7:45 p.m. and Sunday's contest is at 9:30 a.m. So a night game followed by a day game. Again, so if you'd like to check out some great minor hockey action, this is happening right here in Burnaby at the Burnaby Winter Club. So this weekend again, Saturday night at 7:45 p.m., Sunday morning at 9:30 between the Okanagan Rockets and the Vancouver North West Giants, the top two teams in the BC Major Midget League. And at the Richmond Oval, the North Island Silvertips take on the Greater Vancouver Canadians this weekend, with the Saturday contest taking place at 4:45 p.m. and the Sunday game at 10 a.m. Now, for other games on the schedule, check out the league's website at www.bcmml.net. That's www.bcmml.net. Now time for the BC MML standings. The Okanagan Rockets are in first place with a record of 27 wins, 4 losses, and 1 tie, good for 55 points in 32 games, and they have 8 games remaining. In second place, the Vancouver North West Giants have 26 wins, 5 losses, and 1 tie, good for 53 points. The Valley West Hawks are third with a record of 21, 11, and 2. They have 44 points. In fourth place, the Vancouver Northeast Chiefs have a record of 17 wins, 13 losses, and 4 ties for 38 points. In fifth place, the Greater Vancouver Canadians have a record of 17 victories, 15 defeats, and 2 ties for 36 points. Now, sixth place, we have the Caribou Cougars, who are 14, 16, and 2, good for 30 points. In seventh place, the North Island Silvertips, who were idle last weekend, have a record of 10 wins, 17 losses, 5 ties for 25 points. And finally, in eighth place, the Fraser Valley Thunderbirds, with a big point in a 3-3 tie with Valley West on Sunday, are now 10, 18, and 4 with 24 points. They are actually tied with the South Island Royals, who also have 24 points with a record of 10, 20, and 4. However, the Thunderbirds have played only 32 games, while the Royals have played 34. So Fraser Valley has 2 games in hand over the South Island Royals. And finally, in 10th place, Thompson has a record of 5 wins, 21 losses, and 6 ties, good for 16 points. And Kootenay is in 11th place with a record of 5, 22, and 5, with 15 points in 32 games. And as you heard earlier, Coach Bill Grieve of the Fraser Valley Thunderbirds was mentioning that it's a tight race down the stretch from 5th place down to 8th. So definitely a lot of intriguing matchups coming up over the final weeks of the regular season. Again, for more information about the BC Major Midget League, you can go to their website at www.bcmml.net. Now that's going to do it for this week's program. We'll be back 1 week from now for the next show. In the meantime, get out to your local rink and enjoy some good competitive hockey, and go out to Burby Mountain to support the SFU teams as well, again with the men's basketball team in action tonight at 7 p.m. at the West Gym. We'll talk to you again next time.
Don't miss the career opportunity of a lifetime. Apply today to the National Aboriginal Recruitment Fair at Inclusion Works 14, taking place in Vancouver, April 29th to May 1st, 2014. Selected grads are guaranteed an interview and will receive a free trip to Vancouver, including airfare and hotel. Apply today at aboriginalhr.ca/IW14grad.
CJSF sponsors. Magnetized Productions proudly presents Midnight Runner CD release with guests Chelsea's Tale and Saving Silas on Saturday, February 8th at the Red Room Ultra Power, 398 Richard Street, Vancouver. Advance tickets are $10 or $12 at the door. Doors open at 8 p.m. For more information, visit redroomonrichards.com.
King to a throne that nobody knows.
And now a short break for your CJSF Arts Report.
I'm Jamie Sessford, and this is your CJSF Arts Report for the week of February 2nd, 2014. Saturday! Dance House presents Brazil's Grupo Corpo at the Playhouse. Combining classical ballet and Brazilian as well as other international dance forms, Grupo Corpo dances Sem Mim and Ima. Watch as dancers merge the rhythm of the sea with the music of medieval chants, as well as taking influence from the laws of magnetism. 8 p.m. start at the Vancouver Playhouse. Patrick Street Productions revisits the timeless work of the beloved Rodgers and Hammerstein songbook. Drawing from